Cel-shading, one of the famous methods that popular anime artists, illustrators, and animators uses there for art, and they get results like this. But how exactly they do it, how they can turn this into something like this? Well, that's what exactly you will learn today in this video, how to do cel-shading like a pro. Line art. So before we start this, we will need a clean line art to color it, and make sure that before you finalize your line art, check through it completely. You don't want to realize in between the process that you made a mistake. But anyway, here's my line art. So the base color should complement the overall color scheme of the illustration. It's important to consider how it will interact with the shadows and highlight you plan to add later. The base color should also reflect the color of the environment. For instance, if your character is in a forest, the base color might have a greenish tint due to the surrounding foliage. You can use the color theory to choose base color that evoke the right emotions and set the tone for your pieces. For example, warm colors can suggest energy and cool colors can amplify calmness. For this illustration, I'll pick my base color like this. And one thing to note is when you choose base color for the light skin, make sure you pick from the 20% of the color palette. And for the other, the value can be different. It can be more light and way dark. Also, the base color should be influenced by the primary light source. If the light is warm, the base color could be a warmer hue, and vice versa for cool lighting. When drawing the shadows, pay attention to the color temperature of your shadows. Shadows aren't just a darker version of the base color, they have a hue shift that reflects the environment or the light source. Divide objects into clear areas of light and shadows to create a simplified yet impactful look. This division is crucial for stylized appearance of cel shading. Just like here, I'll try to imagine the shadows for the material here, one by one. But when it comes to drawing the shadows, a deep understanding of how light interacts with different forms is crucial. Study real-life lighting and how it affects objects to apply this knowledge to your stylized work. And remember, cel shading is about simplification. Break down shadows into a simple shape that conveys the form without compromising the image. Some illustrators use 1-2-3 system, where they define the 3 levels of shadow, light, medium, and dark, to create a more dynamic range of depth and form. But to keep this video not too complicated, we'll talk about the system in another video. When drawing the highlights, remember to be selective. Instead of uniformly applying the highlights, focus on the area that would naturally catch the most light and leave other areas without highlight to create more dynamic and realistic effect. The shape of your highlight can suggest the texture of the material. Sharp, angular highlights can indicate a reflective surface, while softer, rounded highlights might suggest a more matte nature. Also, just like a shadow, highlights should not only be lighter but also reflect the color or the temperature of the light source. For sunlit scene, highlights might have a warm yellowish tint, while a scene lit by moonlight might have a cooler blushes and highlights. And one thing I find very fun to do is play with the opacity of your highlight layers. Sometimes reducing the opacity can blend with the highlight more naturally with the base color, especially for materials that aren't highly reflective. Gradients are like the smooth blending of color you can see in an anime sky at dawn, where pink gently fades into a blue soft. It's a visual treat that adds depth and drama to the scenes, making it feel like you're watching the colors dance across the canvas. In designs, gradients are the art of transitioning from one hue to another, creating a seamless flow that can bring a flat image to life with a dimension and moments, just like the vibrant background behind your favorite anime characters. And you can apply gradients such as on backgrounds or highlight special features in a character or an object. This can add interest and depth while keeping the overall look conceptual. Keep your gradient palette limited. Cel shading is known for its bold and simplified color schemes, so gradients should not introduce into many gradients hues. Consider how the environment might affect the gradient. For example, a character standing next to a bright object might have a gradient reflecting the light source. Adjust the opacity of your gradient layers to ensure that they don't overpower the flat colors. The goal is to enhance, not overshadow. The cel shade eliminates. And just like I'm doing, you can consider using post-processing technique to add gradients that can enhance the overall mood and tone of the artwork. Let's see before and after. Before and after. Looks cool, right? Ambient occlusion. Imagine you're watching your favorite anime, and there's a scene where the hero is sneaking through a dimly lit alley. The way the shadow pulls into the corner under the crate, making them look extra strong and cozy. Well, that's ambient occlusion for you. It's like a shadow's shadow, giving objects a weighty presence and making the entire world feel more tangible and lifted. You want to use soft shadows to represent ambient occlusion, especially especially where objects or body parts are closer to each other. This can add a natural feel to the otherwise flat colors. Also, the color of ambient occlusion doesn't always have to be black or gray. Depending on the scene's lighting, you might use a color that complements or contrasts with the base color to suggest different lighting conditions. And the last thing, apply ambient occlusion more heavily in the area that would naturally have less light, such as under the arms, between fingers, and where clothes folding are deep. Alright then, now you know how to do cel shading like a pro. I really hope that this helped you in understanding the basic of cel shading that you need to bring life to your art. That's it for now, and if you really like this video, make sure to give it a like and a comment if you like, because it will be a great help for this channel, and I'll see you in the next one.